In this session, we're going to be thinking about data. Now, data is incredibly important for how artificial intelligence operates. It really is, in many senses, the food on which it operates, the lifeblood that makes AI happen. Just down the road from where I live, we have a mobile phone mast, and next to it are all these different boxes. And they are humming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as data is whirring backwards and forwards from this mast to people's mobile phones in the community. The whirring of the fans keeping the electronics inside cool. Data is so much a part of modern life today. And how data is used is very important. And the permission that we give for our data to be used is very important. You'll be very aware that social media uses data in many different ways. And part of what they are doing is making connections between our activities and our habits, and then how that information can be deployed. So, for instance, companies through which we shop or through which we interact with the internet are recording everything that we do online and then using that information to create a picture of who we are. If you've ever got a new electronic device, you may well know that you have all these terms and conditions that go on for page after page after page that you have to accept before you can use that device to its fullest extent. And in that, we are giving permission for a lot of the information about us to be used in other ways. Now, some of that is helpful. And for instance, they can use that for targeting links that may be helpful to us based on things that we have looked at in the past. But other parts of it have a more complicated kind of relationship. Some people have talked about surveillance capitalism. And what that means is when companies use the information that they have about us, about who we are, and then they sell that information to others, which might be companies, it might be advertisers, it might also be political parties or movements or governments even, to determine the kind of things that motivate us, the kind of things that we like, and then to target us with information that will resonate with us. Now, one of the downsides of that is that they've recognized, groups like Facebook, Meta as it is now, that information that stirs up a kind of more fear-based response that might get us angry about something is more likely to trigger our emotions and get a response from us, to get us to click on, to find out more. Now, that works well if you're aiming for advertising or something like that. But when it can be dangerous and harmful is when all we are seeing are negative stories or fear-based stories, because it can impact then how we see the world, and to feel like things are much worse than they actually are. Now, that is our personal data being used to then influence how we are perceiving the world. And that can develop a feedback circle which is not particularly helpful. There needs to be a transparency in how our data is being used and deployed. Now, some of the systems that we have around us are almost like black boxes. We are not fully aware of what is going on inside those black boxes and how our data is being used. So efforts to try and understand that, and to recognize how that information, that personal information, is being used is very important.